You should be okay now.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to Insaka Talk Show. This is October. It's a very special month, right? We have so much lined up for you all, and we are excited to be back with you in the studio. So, Winnie, I'm going to start with you. Oh, first of all, before we get started, we want to excuse Priska is not able to join us due to unforeseen circumstances, but we are here to love on you, to entertain, to educate as usual. So, Winnie, hey, what do you have to say? It's a new season, girl.
It's a new season, and we are back in your house. And look, it's 2 p.m. and Zambian time is 20 hours, right? So at least people in Zambia can be able to watch, especially my mom. She sleeps early now. She can watch us, and just everyone. And this is pink month. I call it pink month. Look at me. I'm not a pink girl, but listen, I gotta rock it. And for the people like Irene, I will rock the pink. I think ribbon, chungulo everywhere. And for the ladies, we have two beautiful ladies. I'm gonna rock it for you. So today is a nice day, and thank you, Nelly, for introduction. And I'm excited for all you guys.
Awesome. Irene, you are our star girl.
Ding, 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 ding.
How do you feel to be back in season two, and what do you have to say about the show today?
You know what? I'm very excited because season 2 hit on October Breast Cancer Month. Everybody is excited about wearing pink, supporting their family and friends that have gone through it. Yesterday, I was a fool. I was crying for no reason. Whoever said hi, I was crying. If I see pink, I was crying. I didn't know what was going on with me. But it happens every time in October. Most of the time, it's the first day of the month. And as we go on with the show, I'll explain why that happens to me. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you very much for everybody that's celebrating us, women that have gone through this and women that are going through it as well. I respect you. I love you. And let's have a good show.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. We have a lot of information packed for you during this show. And so we're going to go on our first break. And when we come back, we'll talk about trending topics. And then we will bring our special guests in the studio with us. So hang around, stick with us. This is Insaka Talk Show.
Do you run a nonprofit organization in the education, health, and human services sectors? Do you need grant funding for your organization? Or do you need help developing programs to help you raise money for your nonprofit organization? At Vibrant Funding, our mission is to connect our nonprofit partners in the education, health, and human services sectors to the financial resources required to achieve their mission. We support nonprofit organizations based in and operating in the United States and Africa. We offer the following services to new and established organizations: program development, donor engagement and retention, grants research and writing. Contact us at www.vibrant-funding.com or email us at info@vibrant-funding.com. Call us at 404-751-6802 to learn more about our services and how we can help you to have an impact on the world. Vibrant Funding, connecting donors and nonprofits.
Hello and welcome back to the show. This is Insaka Talk Show if you are just joining us. This month, ladies and gentlemen, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we at Insaka definitely identify with this because it hit very, very close to home. As a matter of fact, it hit home for us. So we want to make sure that you have all the information that you need to stay alive, to survive, and to thrive. So, ladies and gentlemen, trending topics for this week. What happened this week? On a sad note, we lost rapper Coolio.
Yes.
Mr. Gangsta's Paradise himself.
Gangsta's Paradise. Who didn't know that song?
You know, it brought the G in all of us.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
You should have seen me. I was on stage. I think I was probably seventh or eighth grade when that song came out. I think I was probably eighth or ninth grade. I can't remember, but I was in high school actually. So I mimed to it. I don't know if you remember.
Oh,
yeah, the miming.
Yeah, I was like, as I walked through the valley
the
of
other side of the day. I don't want to get there.
That's why I'm telling you, we had the G in us that time.
Yeah. I mean, I know all the lyrics from start to finish. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, now you were gangster for real.
Paradise.
Yeah.
So on a sad note, he went to visit a friend and he passed out in the restroom. When the friend realized, he's not coming out, he went to check on him and found out he had passed out, called paramedics, and by the time they got there, they pronounced him dead on the scene. So our condolences to his family, and friends, and all the fans around the world. May his soul rest in peace.
Yes.
All right, ladies, what else is trending?
I don't know about the US. I'm itching to talk about what's trending in Zambia.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
You know what's trending in Zambia that I'm so proud of so many people in Zambia right now. Of course, we had the awards yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who are deserving won an award. I'll let Winnie talk about the awards. Whoever you want to talk about who won the award. But if I may just give me 1 second, I want to say, kudos to Nkandayatu. Nkandayatu is a young man from Zambia who made it on Paris Fashion Week. Can you imagine? He made it on Paris Fashion Week. And we saw his line of clothes. They were on point. I mean, on point. Each piece was stitched with love and a lot of concentration as well. Because when I spoke to him, he said, I wanted to design clothes that anybody can wear. Sometimes the runway, you find clothes that are nice, they're well put together, but you're like, where the hell am I going to wear that?
Weird.
Exactly. So he made very nice pieces. We're so proud of you, Nkandayatu. And Miss Winnie, if you don't want to talk about the winners, Chila won.
Of course.
Chila won.
Mr. Zambia.
Yeah.
I want to say something. I want to say something that happened. It's not really a trend topic. I don't really like them, but one thing, I feel bad always for Khloe Kardashian, right? But when I saw online that the ex-boyfriend proposed to her and then she refused. So the man, he was always cheating and he wanted to trap her. So I was saying kudos to her, because for us outsider, all we thought was how should I be having a baby with this crazy man? But this crazy man, everything was in process. So I feel sorry for her. And then for women, because we get to see things on the media and this is what we know. So when you look at inside, I feel sorry for her and a new baby. But you know what? It just said for women, be strong. And when you feel like it's not okay, just say no.
Yeah.
They've said yes and he showing the ring around, but she said no. So the only thing that I had to say. Good for her.
Yeah, kudos to you. Always know your worth. Always appreciate your worth as a woman, as a human being. Really, don't let anybody mistreat you, man or woman. If you feel that you're not being celebrated, don't be where you're tolerated. Right?
Yep.
There you go. So, ladies, I think that's enough for the trending topics. The biggest, the largest, the grandest trending topic of all is that we are using this month and this show to talk about breast cancer and create awareness, right?
Yes.
We
Yes.
don't lose our sisters to this dreaded disease. We need to talk about it. We need
Mhm.
to know what the signs are, and we need to know what to do in case you do happen to get such a diagnosis, right? So we'll talk to people who have gone through it and survived. We'll talk to people who will teach us how do you identify the signs, and
Yep.
then what kind of resources are out
Yep.
there for those who are going through this. So we'll talk about all of that, including support system, which is
Right.
really, really important, right? So before without wasting any more time, I will have our lovely Irene introduce these two ladies because she has a sisterhood and a bond with them. So I will not take that away from you. Irene, take it away, lady.
Yes, because this is a very important day. I'm not going to waste time saying all kinds of stuff because every minute counts so people can learn stuff. With that said, I'd like to introduce two lovely ladies that I've known for over 10 years. This is a sisterhood, friendship, and forever family. We have Miss Karen Hall and Pat Henderson. Please welcome them to the table.
Yay.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, beautifuls.
Hi,
Irene. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, you guys.
It's been a minute, girl.
I know. If they give us a platform, we'll just be talking, you, me, and Karen. So let's just wait for them to say something.
Right, exactly. We're way back, Irene.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show, beautiful ladies. We appreciate your courage. We appreciate your love for your fellow woman for doing this, right? We understand that everybody goes through different challenges. You will talk about the challenges that you went through and why you're on the show today. But
Mhm.
first, we're going to do a little icebreaker.
Oh, okay.
So, ladies, let's loosen up a little bit. We need you to grab your beverage and raise it up so we can see.
Please. Yeah.
All right. They got the. Ooh, I love that your cup. Oh, look at Pat, her cup.
Yes.
Can you just turn it around so we can see what it says? This way. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. What does it say?
Favorite team, y'all. So you have your beverages now. The next thing that I want you to do, can you please put as many teaspoons of sugar as you normally would take in your beverage and show us as you do it. So one at a time.
Okay.
So you raise and then add and let us see.
Don't make them have high blood pressure right now.
Yes,
No.
exactly.
Yeah.
Jeez, Louise.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Okay.
Okay, so I was going to do,
Uh-huh.
you know, okay.
How many?
Okay.
You, you're the one that keeps pouring until the
Yes,
end.
yes.
That's enough, child. All right. So Pat shared that she typically doesn't take sugar in her tea, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
for
right.
that reason, I will award you with just 1 teaspoon.
Yeah.
You, for you, Karen, I think we can go with 3. I think we're not gonna go beyond 3. So we'll start with you, Pat. So that's how many fun facts you gotta tell us about yourself.
Oh,
So
wow. One thing.
One
Wow.
spoon of sugar. We need to know 1 fun fact about you.
I am fun loving.
Okay.
Okay, nice.
What
I
kind
can
of
attest to that.
like thrilling fun, like jumping off a cliff fun?
Not jumping off the cliff, just smiling all the time, just trying to feel,
Just leaving it.
I I love that. You are winning. I see
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love
My
to see the
sister,
smile.
happy all day long. That's it.
Yeah, I don't care what I'm going through, but the smile got to be there.
You're my sister. Trust me. That's the best. That's the best medicine you could ever have.
Yes.
Happy at all
Yes,
time,
thank
no
you.
matter
Yes,
what.
it is.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So for you, Karen, you have 3 teaspoons. So you got to tell us 3 fun facts about Karen that, even maybe some of your friends or family didn't even know.
Okay.
Number 1.
Oh, okay. So my father named me Candy.
Ooh.
Ooh.
He actually named me Candy Kisses, but as I got older, I had to take the kisses part off. So that's one. Number 2 is I'm a cowgirl.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and then number 3 is I love to teach. So I'm a licensed teacher at my church.
Nice.
That's great.
Ladies, I gotta add something.
Uh-huh.
Candy is fun. Trust me. When candy comes out, the show is on the road.
It becomes Candy Kisses. I hear that.
That's good.
That is good. These are times I wish that the show was actually live, where we're sitting in the same room. I don't know the energy.
I'll be giving you the hugging and high five.
Right, I got
And hug too.
Oh, goodness. All right. So now that we have, loosened up and broken the ice and everything, I would like for you ladies, we'll start with Karen. Could you please tell us about Cancer Support Team? Why did you start Cancer Support Team? And what is your goal for this organization?
Okay. So Cancer Support Team was started in 2019, and it is a nonprofit organization. We promote, our mission is to inspire, encourage, empower individuals impacted by cancer. So that doesn't mean just the cancer patient. It also means their caregiver and or family members. We host 2 support group meetings online. The first Wednesday of the month is for our cancer survivors. The third Wednesday of the month is for our cancer caregivers. We have a wig program that's called Crowning Star Wig, and we provide free wigs to cancer patients as well as women living with alopecia. Okay. We also provide one-on-one support for individuals that do not like the group setting. And we host, we have spiritual literature to help individuals spiritually. We have a resource list that we tap into because we all know once you're diagnosed with cancer, your world doesn't stop. Everything else in your life still happens, such as your finances, your job, so all of those other things as well impacts you. And so we have a resource list with different other organizations that can assist the all-around person, not just for cancer.
Okay.
I see. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Karen. And I do know that you are a survivor as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I would like for us to also touch on how does Patricia come in the picture at Cancer Support Team. I know you're a director, Pat, right?
The vice president.
The vice president. So Pat is the vice president. Could you tell us, was this something that you and Karen sat down and said, hey, let's form this organization, or did you come in after the fact?
Yes. Well, I did come in after the fact, but I did know that Karen was driven by this. And I said, Karen, among the group, Karen is the one that's going to stand out. Something needs to be done. She's the first to jump to it, and we follow. So I said to Karen, I said, Karen, you can do exactly what you need to do and what makes your passion. I
Yeah.
said, I'm behind you 100% because there's a bond between Karen, me, and Irene. I met these lovely ladies when I was having, my chemotherapy. And, it brings joy, joy today sitting here talking about cancer
Yeah.
because it's a big deal.
Yes.
It's big. It's just something in my heart. This is good tears, okay? Whatever.
Yes, yes,
This is
yes.
good tears.
Trust
That's
me, I
right.
had them yesterday,
Yeah.
so I know.
Like Irene said early on in the show that she don't know why she was just tearing up, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what happens when
Yeah.
this time of the year comes around. But
Mhm.
back to Miss Karen, yes, when she first talked about it, I said, Karen, you can do this. Karen had the drive.
Mm-hmm.
She went out there and she hustled everything that she could do to form this organization. I'm with you, sister girl. I am. We did a lot of functions together.
Yes.
We talk, we cry, everything that was so good for her. And Karen put that and formed this lovely organization to help other people. We were there, and we are telling women that they can get there also.
That's
Yeah.
good.
That is very nice. That is amazing and just so inspiring. And I'll come back to our own Irene. She's also a cancer survivor, and
Yeah. Yes.
she, because before when we didn't know each other, like of course we just met as well a couple years ago, and I'm so grateful she's in my life, in our life, and our big sister. But I just want to like go back into times. Irene, how was it? Like how was it when you found out you had cancer with your support system? Like what were you looking into, like when you're sick, okay, you're diagnosed now that you have cancer. What was going on in your mind at the moment before you knew you had your support system?
Well, you know what? First and foremost, when you're diagnosed, you have to have that one person that you call, that you know that when you call them, they're going to stand tall with you.
Yes.
For me, it was a friend of mine. I didn't call my family. It was a friend of mine who was passed on as well to breast cancer. She was the first Zambian in Chicago to have breast cancer. So I felt like she knew what to tell me. So I called her and she told me what to do. And the first thing she did to me is that where you are, I told her where I was, sit down, let's pray. We prayed. Then she said, take a piece of paper, write this down. When your doctor comes in, ask this, ask that, ask that. And I did. And I'm pretty sure the doctor, when he came back, is like, who is this woman? It's not the same woman that I left a few minutes ago crying from, like on top of her lungs. So after that, I decided to join some other organization in the hospital where I was. That's how I met these beautiful ladies. There was a support team in that hospital.
Amazing.
But before I met Karen, I met Pat.
Right.
And how I met Pat is a very funny way, because we used to go for chemo at the same time.
Mm.
And I don't know if you guys know what a chemo room looks like. It's just seats. It's just a long room with seats. So when you come in, you do your infusion. This one right here, every time she came for chemo, she was all dressed up with lipstick and heels, with my coffee. And Miss Pat can tell you the rest of the story because I didn't know. I was just doing me. And you keep watching me like, who is this woman? I was walking drinking.
That was good interest. I
That
think
was
she
so
was doing
funny.
that because like you guys are saying that I've never been, but I'm just a supporter as well. I think the way she was coming in, she refused anything to hold on to her.
Yeah,
She
That's
was coming in, I'm gonna come here, get my treatment, and get out. So that was see, you took that from her. Like, why? How come she's all dressed up? How come she's doing the same thing I'm doing, but she's so happy and I'm sad? So even if I was sick, I would feel okay to be in that room with her. I think that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important that, once you're diagnosed, you do your ugly girl craft, you
Mhm.
follow the Lord and, why me God and all this and that. And after you do all of that and get it out of your system, then you have to decide if you want to live or die.
Mm.
If you decide you want to live,
I like that.
then you be your own advocate. And
Yep.
so I was like Irene. I would go in there looking like I was finna go out somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, God, you got this with me. Let's do this.
Right.
Yeah.
You do
I'm gonna
have
come
to-
clean
Yeah.
and do your part. Yeah.
But you want to live. You still got a whole lot of fear in your heart.
True.
You know, that brings you down. That makes you sick. Now, did I have side effects? Absolutely. But
Yeah.
they were not as bad as they could have been.
Mhm.
I'm still able, to function.
So entering into the room where the nurses are, there's, but Miss Henderson, are you sure you're in the right room? I said, why? She said, you always smiling. I said, that's just who I am. I'm still gonna smile. So I get in there, everybody's just minding their own business. And I said, we need some cheering up in this place.
That's right.
Because
Yeah.
we're going through the same thing, and
Yeah.
it's hard. I don't know what your story is or what your diagnosis is.
Yes.
And here come Miss Diva, Irene. She sit down on the right side of me. I said, well, wait a minute. I gotta do something. So I got up and I said, I introduced myself to Irene. I said, I have one thing to tell you, even though we're hey, we I said, but girl, you look fabulous. And I love that coat that you're wearing, okay? No.
Irene said, I ain't going out like a punk, okay?
No, I am not doing that. I am not doing that.
This coat? I said, yes, that coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Diva girl. And we became good friends.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you, but I would love for you guys, both of you, to tell our viewers what diagnosis you had, like what stage were you, Pat, and what stage were you, Karen, so people can know from what stage you were diagnosed to how you thrived through to where you are, because somebody else is going through what you're going through and they don't know how to be where you are. You had me that brought my pizzazz, but somebody else doesn't have me.
That's right.
That's true. You want to go? Okay. So I'm a 2-time cancer survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I simply had a mastectomy and a reconstruction. And the cancer was found just from the regular mammogram. So that's why it really is important that you do your regular mammograms. I did not have a bump, I didn't have any irregularities in my breast. So there was no physical way for you to tell that I had breast cancer. Okay. And it was done from the mammogram, and then you have your biopsy, you have your ultrasound, and then all of the other tests come along after that. So that's how it was discovered the first time. And I didn't join the support group because I'm like, I am not like them people. I still got my hair, I still got my eyebrows, I'm good, But 8 years after my initial diagnosis, which 5 years, basically they say you're really in remission, you don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I came back 8 years after my initial diagnosis, and it came back as a different type of cancer. As an aggressive tumor on my chest wall, on my breast chest wall. And that was really new on the same side. And so that's really was shocking because I'm like, my breast's not up here, okay? On my, but that is still part of your breast tissue there. And it was a tumor. It started off very small and it was itching, right? And I'm just thinking, it's nothing. So I was at my primary, I asked him, and he said, I don't know what it is. So I went to the person that did my implant, He's like, well, ain't nothing I did, but I need you to go straight to the hospital and get a mammogram. So I went to get the mammogram, and then the process went on from there, and that's when I was told that the cancer came back again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's Miss Pat.
Okay. Actually, I found a lump in my breast. I usually, check myself taking a shower. And one day I was taking my shower and I just ran my hand and I said, wait a minute, I feel this lump. And I said, maybe, sometimes you get a little too busy for yourself and maybe I hit myself. I don't know. Maybe I did something. And I said, I'll give it a week. So I keep feeling, I said, this thing didn't go away. So I went to my doctor and I told my doctor, and he said, well, you know what? You need to get tested because my sister died from breast cancer at the age of 54. And I went to Mercy Hospital and they tested me and they called me in and the doctor said, would you like to sit or stand? I said, no, I'd rather stand. And if there's anything you got to tell me, let me hear the worst before you tell me anything good. So she said, well, Ms. Henderson, you have cancer. I said, well, at this moment, I don't want to know the stage. I want to know what you can do to help me because my sister passed at 54.
Yeah.
And I don't know, ladies, for some reason, I just felt a strength. I did not cry. I felt so strong. And I called my sister, my other sister, because I have two sisters. And I said, sis, I said, I'm just back from the doctor and they told me I have cancer, breast cancer. She started, crying and said, oh my God, I'm going to lose you. I said,
no, you
ain't
ain't
going nowhere.
I said, I got to hang up now.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I got to hang up. So I hang up.
That's right.
And I went home and the thoughts keep surfacing in my mind. You have cancer. I said, am I going to die like my sister? Really? And I was alone, you all. I was alone with this. And I just knelt and I said, God, you need to help me with this. My understanding of this is so vague. I know nothing of this. And went back to the hospital, they started treating me with chemotherapy, the strongest of chemotherapy called the Red Devil.
The red.
Yeah.
That's
the one I had.
You have invasive, very invasive cancer, and you will have to fight for your life. I said, really? She said, yes. So a lot of things just flooding through my mind, ladies. I don't know if I was coming or going. I went through so many tests that I never thought existed.
Wow.
Never thought existed. I said, what test? But what I did from the beginning of my diagnosis, the time, the date, I wrote everything in a manual. Everything that the doctor said, what kind of medication, what kind of chemotherapy, because I was on 2 different types of chemotherapy. And I remember going in there to get my first bout of chemotherapy, and I sat in the chair, and it's like I just had anxiety, like, oh my God, and my nurse, they were so humble and so understanding. And she said, calm down, Pat, you'll be okay. And I looked around in the room and something dawned in my thought and said, if they can do this, you can.
I can.
And I kind of could feel myself just starting feeling relaxed.
Yes.
And the first bout of chemo, it took all day. Irene can tell you, all day. Home like 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
And I felt so sick, ladies.
Yeah.
It hit me so hard. And getting up that Saturday morning, the first bout of chemo, y'all, I look on my pillow. I see my hair.
Yeah.
On the pillow.
Yeah.
And I got in the bathroom and I look at myself and I did this. And it's just coming out my hands. And I said, the first bout of chemo, unbelievable. And I just sat down to the floor and I cried.
Yeah.
And I actually took all my hair out. It
Yeah.
just fell out.
Yeah.
So, that was very hard.
Yeah.
And a lot of, like I say, a lot of people go through these things. And I just made up my mind. I have to fight for myself. And if I die fighting, I'll be happy.
Exactly.
You
Amen.
fighting. Thank you for fighting. You did it.
No.
Did what
Fighting.
they say it's a mental. So you told yourself, I'm gonna fight. Thank you for fighting, because if you did not fight, we'll not be talking. And
That's
then
right.
it's gonna help other women when you get cancer, guys. Go check yourself and remember, you have to fight on your own because you only got you. Family and family will. You are an individual person, you gotta fight. And thank you, all you three, for fighting this. Like,
Yes.
saying going there all day, I can't even sit somewhere for 3 hours.
Yeah.
There's
I have
so many
something that I prepared for you, three ladies here, and the ladies that are watching. Okay, watch this.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Your lives matter. There's a reason why God kept you here, and you have a purpose.
Yes.
There's a bigger purpose and a plan that is just beyond Irene and Karen and Pat. I also have somebody who is a surprise guest that is going to talk to us today and give us some words of hope. So please welcome to the show my mother, Reverend Dr. Naomi Sengawela.
Oh, thank you, mommy. Oh, my mommy.
Hello,
Thank you
hello.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful welcome. Yes. Um, so today I'm just coming from church and I was preaching on the need to have freedom to grieve, but not only to grieve, but also to be able to transition to healing. So my theme was free to grieve and grace to heal. So I want to acknowledge all you ladies that are cancer survivors. And I want to acknowledge each one of you individually. And I know that grief comes in different ways to different people. Others, it is immediately. And others, when they are sick, they don't grieve there and then because they want to concentrate on getting better. And then grief will hit them much, much later. And some of them, the grief will be right there at the time when they are sick. And as they heal physically, they also heal emotionally. So I don't know where you are in life journey right now in your journey of cancer survival. But before I proceed, I want to give you an example I want to talk about my late sister. She didn't have breast cancer, but she had cancer of an eye. So at that time, she was pregnant when the cancer was discovered. So she had an option. The doctors told that she can have the baby terminated so that she can start having chemo immediately. But my sister opted to have the baby. Sadly, on the day when she was giving birth, the baby died at birth.
Oh,
And then the cancer had spread.
oh my goodness.
So they had to remove the eye completely and the eyelid as well.
Oh my goodness.
It was horrible for us who were helping to even clean the wound. My sister cried and grieved at that time, and we tried to give her the support that we could as much as we can. Then hope, she found hope, and then she started to recover. My sister recovered and was able to live a happy, healthy life for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Apart from that, my sister had HIV/AIDS, but
Wow.
she accepted that, and she used to joke, like she would say, Vanansama, some of us, we need to top up. So, I like an Indieko kanini, and every time when we are eating, there was always left over for Mary because she would need to eat before taking her medication. So she was an inspiration to a lot of people when she was living with me, especially those people that were hiding. They didn't want to come out that they were HIV positive, and they were, they were maybe they were feeling shamed to come out. So my sister she passed that stage of feeling shamed. So why am I talking about my sister? I'm talking about my sister because the process of grieving and the process of transitioning is the same, whether you have breast cancer, whether you have eye cancer, whether you have cervical cancer, or whatever cancer that you have, or whatever illness that you have.
Right.
So the most important thing is to have hope. And how do you begin to have hope? It's to begin to look at the the positive things. Don't dwell on the negativity. Dwell on the positive. What helped my sister was that she dwelled on the fact that she had these 2 children, and she wanted to see her children grow. She wanted to see her children graduate, and that kept her going.
Yeah.
So I want you, all of you breast cancer survivors, to begin to look at your life and see what is it that is worth living for.
Yeah.
You fought, you are an overcomer, right? So how do you now transition from grieving over the loss of your breast to celebrating life? Because it's only when you become a celebrator of life that you are going to be an overcomer, and then you'll be able to help others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I want to read quickly. If you can just I want to read. It's a quote. I should have had it ready. I'm sorry about this inconvenience, but I just need to read. And this is what I am hoping for you. So, this is coming from the wisdom of the author, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She is one person that wrote a book on the 5 stages of grieving. And this is what she wrote, and I quote, "The most beautiful people I have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depth. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep, loving concern.
Yeah.
Beautiful people do not just happen."
Yeah.
Meaning, beautiful people are made by their circumstances. The challenge that I'm having for you, my daughter Irene, is that may that suffering that you experienced beautify you to be compassionate, to be loving, and to be able to help others to come out and to be able to give hope.
Thank you.
May you be a compassionate and loving person that will depend on God's faithfulness to be able to help others. That is my prayer for all of you who are survivors.
Thank you.
Yes, you are a beautiful pink flower on earth that should shine brighter and brighter, just as I'm wearing this bright pink for you.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So I even have my, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, where is it? My camera is misbehaving today. Okay, I don't. Yeah. So anyway, I wanted you to see that, and then I wanted you to see my pink earrings.
Wow. Thank you, Mommy. That was amazing.
So I've worn all these things in just to honor you, ladies.
Thank
you. Thank you so much.
To those who are just listening in, maybe you are just in the middle of it. Maybe you are going through chemo, or you need to have have surgery. Whatever stage, wherever you are right now, I just want to say that we are standing with you, we are praying with you, but at the end of it all, we want you to be an overcomer, and we one day want to hear your story.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate you
so much.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yes. So that's it. That's what I had for you today.
All right. Thank you so much, Samir.
Thank you so much.
If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay.
Awesome. And with that, because she has made us so emotional, we're going to go on break. And when we come back, you will see a video from the founder of Zambia Cancer Society, Udie Soko. So we'll be right back. This is Insaka Talk Show.
Thank you.
My whole life, my father told me stories about moving to the United States. He would tell me that his brother, my Uncle George, was already living here and let my father stay with him for a while. Through my Uncle George, my father was introduced to our cultural organization here in America, who helped him make connections, apply for college, find his first job, and adjust to life in a completely different culture than he was used to. The Cultural Association helped him get started on his new life. My Uncle George would bring my father with him to the annual Summer Cultural Groups Festival, and later, he would bring me. It was incredible to see so many people of all ages laughing and celebrating with food and song and dance. It brought back the best feelings of home and gave my father the opportunity to pass his culture, language, and values on to me. My father and Uncle George were very close, so when George died last year, my father wanted to honor his wishes to be buried with a traditional ceremony back at his birthplace. My father told me that because Uncle George had cultural group life insurance, he was able to afford to bring George home and have the traditional burial George wanted. Though my father had been able to honor my Uncle George's wishes, it got me thinking about my own family. One day, I'd have to make the same arrangements for my own parents, and my wife's parents as well. Of course, we would want to bring them home and honor their wishes, but it would be a financial hardship for our family. There were a lot of things to think about, even though I really didn't want to think about them at all. When my father told me about cultural group life insurance, he told me it's intended to help families when they need it the most. It's not tied to an employer, so no matter where my career takes me, I'll always have coverage. The more people who participate and the younger they are, the more it helps keep the insurance premiums down for the entire association. Because my parents have cultural group term life insurance, there will be money available to help me provide the kind of service I want to give my parents. And by joining, I can put my mind at ease and continue to celebrate our traditions into the future. With Cultural Group Life Insurance, I can worry less and spend more of my time celebrating with the people who matter most to me.
Thank you so much, and welcome back to Insaka Talk Show. Before we went on break, we had a chance to speak with Reverend Dr. Naomi Sengabwila. She gave us some words of hope and encouragement. If you're going through chemotherapy right now, if you're going through radiation or whatever treatment that you're going through, if you just found out that you have cancer, there is hope. Find a support system. Speak with your perhaps your pastor, speak with a therapist, speak with a family member who is going to hold your hand and help you through this difficult journey. I shared that we do have a word from the founder of the Zambia Cancer Society. And so we are going to share that for those of you who are watching us from Zambia. She has some really, really important information. We won't play, because of time, we will not play the entire video, but we will share that on our social media platforms. So feel free to watch the entire video there. But for now, we'll just share a little bit so that you can get some information from that. All right?
Hello, warm greetings from Zambia. My name is Udie Soko. I'm the founder and executive director of the Zambia Cancer Society. I am also a breast cancer survivor. As we commemorate Breast Cancer Awareness Month globally, I am reminded of the many times I have been asked, what are the early warning signs of breast cancer? I will share a few with you. Number 1, an unusual lump in the breast or in the armpit. Number 2, unusual discharge from the nipple, whether it is clear or it is bloody. Number 3, a change in the texture of your skin on the breast. Breast cancer sometimes shows up as the skin on your breast changes, and it looks like that of an orange peel. Not orange, but the texture of an orange. Number 4, an enlargement of one breast against the other. Normally, one breast is naturally larger than the other, but if you notice that all of a sudden one breast appears much more larger than usual, that is a sign of concern. But please remember, all these early warning signs does not necessarily mean that you have breast cancer. Breast cancer is confirmed through a medical procedure. What are the other signs? One breast hanging unusually lower than the other. And last but not least, your nipple going inside, pulling inwards, which is unusual for you, or the dimpling of the nipple or nipple retraction. Yes, that's right. The nipple going in, which is not usual for you. So at the end of the day, the bottom line is to know your breasts, be familiar with them, so that if you notice something unusual, that will be a red flag. And I would encourage you to visit your medical health practitioner as soon as possible. During the month of October, which I mentioned earlier, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is a good opportunity to have your breast checked by a trained medical professional. And we call this type of checkup a clinical breast exam. According to the government of Zambia breast cancer health guidelines, women over the age of 40 are encouraged to go for a yearly mammogram. So if you are in that age bracket of 40 years and above, please visit your local hospital and ask about having a mammogram. For women.
All right. So, like I said, we had to cut that a little bit short
Right.
because of time. There are some important resources that she shared of places where you need to go get yourself checked or get a mammogram. So we will share that on our platforms. Before we move on, I just want to also acknowledge breast cancer hit home for us in this household as well. In 2014, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I happened to be with her in the room when the news was broken to her. This is my mother-in-law. Her name is Joan Taylor. And she went through, obviously, the grief that we talked about. She cried, the why me and everything. And but we were there to support her. My husband and myself and the entire family were there to support her. She had to have a mastectomy, and she is a survivor. I can tell you that she has survived. She is alive and well. She is downstairs as we speak. I was I was hoping she could actually appear on the show, but she was like, just do your thing. That's Grandma John for you. So and the reason I bring this up is I want to segue into what was support like for you, right? We can start with you, Irene. Who were your biggest support system, and how do you feel that helped you in your overcoming process?
I think one of the reasons why I started, doing groups and stuff, and one of the groups that I was part of is a group that Karen and Patricia was in, called CSFT, Cancer Survivors Fighting Together.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we started that is because we realized that there's some people who were going through this journey by themselves. They didn't have support system like some of us had. So we felt like if we're a group of women, we can go out for lunch, we can cry together. There are times when we used to meet and just cry, and it was okay. And there are times we go and have a good time because there are some people who never had that. But for me, as a person, I was very privileged to have a lot of support system from my community, and I want to thank you them so much because I never get the chance to tell all of them because I can't remember who they are. I do have pictures from the event that they put together for me. My family, of course, and just people that I didn't know came through for me, and I said, okay, if they can come through for me, what about somebody who doesn't have? So I should be that person to lift them up. As I speak right now, I don't talk about it. Only a few people that know me know what I do. So I counsel and support some breast cancer survivors or the ones who are newly diagnosed from Zambia. I don't know them, but somebody who knows about me calls me and say, so and so is going through, can you counsel them or can you support them? That's what I do. I feel good about it. I don't spend foundation money, organization money. It's my own money that I spend. I feel good about it because people did for me. People paid my phone bill the whole year that I was sick, 2 years that I was sick, 2 years I think I wasn't working. And they did a lot of things for me. So if they did for me, I want to give back. And how I give back is I talk about it. I'm one person who talks about breast cancer all the time. Before Karen and Pat can say something, I wanted to just align the way breast cancer should be understood. If you're a woman, you're at risk. If you're a woman, you're at risk. That's number one. So breast cancer is attacking kids, young people who are less than 30 years old. Before, at risk was 40 and above. Now, even the 30s are getting it. So if you know you're a woman and you come from a background that has cancer, any cancer, you are at risk. So what you do is yearly you have to go and speak to your doctor and say, hey, my auntie died of cancer or my mom died of cancer or whatever. Half the time, if you are younger than 30 or 40, they'll say, oh, no, you're fine. Just say, it doesn't matter. I just want to do a clinical screening. Do a clinical screening. It's okay for you to do that. Then you can tell if there's any inconsistencies in your breast, then they'll do the 9. The other thing I wanted to give advice is if you are diagnosed, please ask them to do a BRAC test. A BRAC test will determine whether cancer runs in your family or not. Like for me, I did a BRAC test and it came out negative. So at least my female relatives are safe, but not completely safe. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go for mammogram because I said you don't have it. You should go. So I just want to tell all women to just make sure that you do your yearly and you make sure that you eat well, exercise, which I don't do, but I'm telling people to do it. Eat well, do exercise. Okay?
All right. Before you come in, I just want to say we are on time. However, this is very important. We will stay for as long as we need to, so we can get all the information in, because there is one more person that we want to talk about. We haven't had a chance to, and Winnie is going to take the lead on that. But before we go to that segment, I want to come back to Pat and Karen. So, any words of advice that you have for our viewers in terms of, adding on to what Irene just said.
Okay. First of all, I didn't mention that I did had a double mastectomy. So ladies, it's always good to do the self-examination. It's vital that you do that. And take your mammograms, ladies. That will help. Don't be scared, because I've met a lot of women that were scared. And I could understand where that's coming from. But you have to go get these tests done in order to find out what's going on with your body, because you do feel a change. I felt like real exhausted, tired, and didn't quite understand what was going on with me. I thought it was just overworked, but that was part of it. So ladies, take time, get up, take your self-exam and go get screened in for your breast. And those are important.
Yep.
Those are very important. And always stay positive.
Yes.
Yes, ladies.
Positive. That's it.
Yes. Positive.
So for me, as Irene was mentioning, I have noticed that in the African American community, we are getting diagnosed at a younger and younger age.
Yes.
It's critical that we stay on top of this. Also, we're getting diagnosed with a more aggressive cancer type. It's called triple negative.
Yeah.
That's more aggressive and it's harder to treat. Okay. I'd like to also mention it's important that we look at clinical trials, because the clinical trials is what determine the treatment plan. But if we're not involved in the clinical trial, the treatment plan is for the Caucasians or all of the women that's in the clinical trial. So that's another thing. Become your own advocate. It's very important for you to be your advocate, to trust your team. But also, if you don't trust your team, it's okay to get a second opinion.
Yes.
Okay?
I just want to, sorry, Karen, I just want to stop you right there before I lose the train of thought. You mentioned the importance of being involved in clinical trials.
Yeah.
I would like for you to also share how one can do that. And if there are any links or websites that we can share, we'll be happy to do that.
Karen, can I answer that before you answer yours? I did a clinical trial.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I wanted to answer that one. So clinical trials, most of the times, is when you are diagnosed, you're in treatment in the hospital, there are these people that come to advocate for clinical trials.
Mhm.
They go to different patients and explain to them what that clinical trial is all about. If you're comfortable, you sign your waiver or your consent, then they do it on you. For me, I was taking a Nolesta shot. I don't know if you ladies had that.
Yeah, I
You did
did.
the Nolesta
I
shot.
did.
Yeah. So the shot was when you do your chemo today, the following day you have to go
Yeah.
back for the shot.
Hmm.
So apparently the shot was to replace the white blood cells that were damaged due to the red poison that we were talking about earlier. The red poison is lethal, so they want you to replace the white blood cells. But it had its own side effects as well. But what is the best way to help another woman? Is to take clinical trials, right? Because if they can find out that it can help me, it will help a million other women.
Yeah.
That's why it's very important to take part in the clinical trials.
Yes.
You go ahead, Karen or Pat. I just wanted to share that.
So also, you can go on any of the major websites like the CDC have clinical trials on it. American Cancer Society, if you go on their website, they have a section for clinical trials. Most of the major hospitals have clinical trials. You know, I've done some clinical trials through University of Chicago.
Yeah.
And so now when something comes up that it involves a survivor for cancer, normally I'll get an email or a call that says, you know, do you want to participate? And then they'll tell you, you know, the requirements and, you know, how long it takes and so on and forth, so forth. Now, am I saying do it all? No, you know, you still have to be your own advocate. If you feel that you can do it and it will be a contribution to others, fine. If not, that's okay too, you know. But you know, I talked about being your own advocate, and let's talk about our men. Our men, you know, you know all about the girls too. Okay. And so as men, you know, if you feel something different, you need to let your female partner know. Okay. There have been quite a few occasions where the male has discovered a lump, you know, in the female breast. So, you know, let's not keep you out. You have a part in it as well. And then lastly, it's not a death sentence.
No.
You know, we can continue on with one breast or no breast. You know, it's not a death sentence. You just change the way, you know, you dress.
Change the way you move.
That is right,
girl.
girl. My granddaughter said to me, Grandma, are you ever going to get back your girls? Because I call them my girls. She said, no, baby. But you know, the good thing about it is I can take my girls off and put it on the table.
That's right. They ain't got to weigh me down no more.
Ladies that I look in the mirror and said, is this really me? It was hard. It was very hard to understand that I don't have my girls.
It's an adjustment.
You know, because I used to talk to Karen a lot and said, you know, I don't feel beautiful. I don't feel, you know, I just don't feel like myself anymore. And then I started thinking, I said, listen, girl, you're the only one that can just, you know, get yourself in gear. And I said, you know what? I'm gorgeous. I'm beautiful. I look in the mirror and I see the scar and I said, girl, you came a long way, baby.
You don't even need to go.
I know, right?
Smile every day, no matter what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Smile every day.
Positive vibes. Positive vibes.
You know, you got to accept yourself first.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
You know,
Karen, you mentioned a very, very important point here that I think most people don't even talk about, right? Partners, you know, you play around with these things more than we do. I mean, for us, we just dress them and wash them and we keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
Familiarize yourself with your wife's breasts, your partner's breasts. Help them. If you feel something that is irregular, mention it. You are key. You are a very key part of getting the early diagnosis.
Yep.
So please pay attention. Don't
Do your
just
job, partners. Do your job.
don't
Right.
just play around.
Don't be scared to touch them and squeeze them and suck them if you can.
And the other
That's what we
thing
would.
that's scared.
And
You
that's
remember, Miss Pat? You remember how our doctors used to say, if you have a partner, tell them to suck them babies. I'm like, I don't even have anybody to suck them. Like, go find somebody to do it.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
that's
know
why,
what you're
ladies,
talking about.
it's important that they, as your family, can get involved in these support groups, because we don't understand what they are going through.
Yeah.
We're so
Right.
focused on us trying to be better.
Yeah.
And to get rid of this sickness that
Yeah.
we don't have the time to focus on how our partner is feeling and our children are feeling.
Exactly.
So support group will help them understand, and reading helps understand, and broaden the mind, so they can say, wow, I didn't know. Because I look at my husband then and I said, I don't know, am I getting enough support? But really, I didn't know what he was thinking and feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important for them also to understand.
Yeah.
And lean too, and just communicate, talk about things, so we could try to solve this. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just share two points real quickly? Support groups is very critical. Number one is because, and I say this when I give my speeches, oftentimes we can feel absolutely great one day, right? And we get up and we put our wig and makeup on, and then the next day we're barely able to get out the bed. And our family does not understand that part. And also, men are fixers. They want to, and this is something they can't fix.
Yeah.
So oftentimes they kind of give you your space, not really realizing that you need their support. And so that's a critical reason why the support groups are very, very important for you to get involved in, because we've walked that walk, we walked that journey, and we understand when you feel greater. We just talking like Pat just kind of teared up earlier. We all understand, and nobody was like, oh my God. So it's very important.
When you first get diagnosed, people always said, well, girl, you're alive, so what are you worried about?
Yeah.
I know I'm alive, but then I have a big struggle ahead of me.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, I lend my support, is there anything I can do to help you go through what you're going through? But many people, that's why, who your friends are at this point in life. You know who's behind you. So ladies, I encourage support group, and I'm so excited and elated for Karen and Irene and all you ladies for the show and the support that she gives. I love being a part of Cancer Support Team because it really helped me. And I want to thank all my family members for supporting me to support.
Amen. Amen. And now, ladies, we're gonna, before we conclude the show, we just want to share a beautiful soul who also was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I'm gonna have Winnie talk about her. If she can share, I'll share a series of pictures. So Winnie, please go ahead and talk about.
So, ladies, I had one of my good friend. Her name was Shupiwe. She was a model in Zambia. We had a video, but it wasn't clear. We'll play it on our timeline. This young, beautiful girl, she was a fighter. She was fierce. She was a leader. We lost her in July. She died and left 2 kids behind her. But she had a breast cancer, and she told only a few friends, you wouldn't know that she was going through what she was going through. So this cancer month, breast month, cancer survivors and people who passed away, I just want to say, I rest in peace. And for a family, we just, like we said, they need a support system so they can help raise those babies, make them understand that it's okay. And this is where my mother was saying, before, these different kind of grieving. So they could be grieving her, but she was a strong woman, and she left a legacy of Pink Ribbon, which is this month in Zambia, Pink Diamond. That was a brand. So this month in December, sorry, I'm talking about my own thing. This month there'll be the Pink Ribbon Walk. It's gonna happen in October 30th. So if you're in Zambia, please look into that email or information. Please, you can contact me or Nicole. We'll put up some more videos about it so we can go and just understand what it is about cancer. She found it, she went beat it, and then it came back again. She couldn't fight it. This was the day that we received her from her, because she went to South Africa where she was having a diagnosis. But this is the day we received the body at the airport. And it was just a sad moment to see this young, beautiful man just dying. And this was just part of a group as well. There was Innocent Kalaluka, Miss Hometown, and other Miss Hometown members. So I just want to say to Shapiwe, this is Nicole, is one of Shapiwe's son. He was saying before that they were in the car and she asked him that, can you see my breast? Do you see if one is big? And it's like she knew what it was, but she was just looking for confirmation. And then because they were so close with him, he was like a baby to her. And then she had asked him to touch the breast, and he did, and he felt like there was a lump. And then the days after that, she went and checked on herself, and she found out she had cancer. And she did everything she could, but we just lost her. But may so rest in peace, Miss Shapiwe Benasho.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Winnie. This is very emotional, but thank you for sharing.
No, I share this. Sorry, Nerix. 1 minute. Excuse me, because we're learning this season. Excuse me. I'll tell you, ladies, about why I just said excuse me, because before we just go in and crush it in and say whatever I want to say, but now I'm going to say politely.
I'm learning to.
No worries. Go ahead, Winnie.
I'm going to share this, and the reason I wasn't supposed to be the one talking, and it's a little emotional, but I'm not sad because she did what she did. That was a time, but I'm grateful, especially that mom came in and taught us about two things, different way of grieving. She's gone, she's passed on, she's an angel, and then God has given us beautiful people like you who are still supporting these women. So for us is to be strong and be a great support system. And myself, I have to go check again. I checked last year. I'm going to keep on checking. But just for seeing you guys smiling, we would have loved to be here, but that was a journey. But you guys, there's a purpose, the reason why you're here. And I'm so grateful for you, Irene, Miss Pat, Miss Karen. Thank you for this moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And, with that, we are going to conclude today's show. We are very, very blessed by your presence today, ladies. And we hope and pray that you keep fighting. You keep fighting for us, because you've already fought for us by doing clinical trials. You fought for us by sharing the knowledge and the pain that you went through. And so for those of you out there, please, please, and please don't forget to do your mammogram. Make sure that you schedule that and get yourself checked every year. And additionally, if there's anything that you see, please consult your doctor and make sure that you do further tests. We will conclude today's show with the short video that we did before. Thank you and stay blessed.
Thank you for having me.